Welcome back to Gershwin Woodcraft, and today we're going to do a fun little project. We're going to turn a magic wand. So come with me and we'll do it step by step. The wands I turn are different than you would probably imagine. You could just put the whole stick between the 2 points on the lathe and turn it to the shape you want, but you need a very large lathe. Most people with the standard jet desktop, that's not going to fit. So you had to start breaking it into segments. And as long as we were going to do that, I figured, why not add a little compartment on the bottom to hold the phoenix feather. And that's what made it my biggest seller this holiday season. In order to make the wand, you're going to need a nice piece of wood, about 18 inches long, of your desire. A dowel. I am using an 11/32 dowel. Kind of hard to find, but perfect for my needs. And a feather. The tools you're going to need is a self-centering chuck, a drill head for your lathe, the 11/32 bit that matches my 11/32 dowel, and this, which is a chuck for doing wine stoppers that I picked up from Wood and Whimsy. Obviously you can just get a small threaded rod and put it on your self-centering chuck. I have this, so it all works out much easier for me. And this is 11/32, which is why I have to use an 11/32 bit and an 11/32 dowel. Now that you've measured the piece out, you've cut yourself a nice little strip, you're going to measure out the 3 sections. The pommel, the handle, and the wand itself. I kind of eyeball it, it's however you want it to be, but in order for you to keep the grain straight, I make little arrows pointing towards the tip of the wand, so after I cut it all up, I can keep track of which way the grain goes. Now comes the most tedious part, but one of the most important. In order for the wand to really turn true, you do have to find the center of every piece on every side, and then put a little indent so that it can all fall into place. We'll start with the longest part, which is your wand tip. That's going to go into the handle based on my arrows. That's going to be the very tip. Remember, we've marked our center holes. We get that centered between both ends. We've done a little tap hole, so it's ready. Put a little bit of pressure. Don't want to put on too much, because you could always split the wood. You put this in. Get that in place. Take a look at it. Looks like we're going to be good to go. Let me get my mask and tools and I'll be right back. I'd like to take a quick time out from the project to talk about an important thing in the workshop, and that is having a good respirator. The amount of fine dust that you're going to kick up on your lathe is going to really damage your lungs if you don't take the respirator seriously. The simple little masks you get at the hardware store are not sufficient. They're usually not comfortable and you're going to be tempted to take it off too quickly. The dust is going to remain in your workshop for hours. I did a lot of research. There are some fantastic masks that cost like $400 or $500, but this one from Rockler was $75. It is powered, which means there's a little fan in here that brings the cool air in. It makes it a very comfortable mask to wear, and you can stand to have it on you for the entire project. You should take breaks every now and then, make sure there's good ventilation. You want to have a nice long life of wood turning. You don't want to cut short with a respiratory problem. So, let's put this mask on and turn ourselves a wand. So now we have our 3 pieces. Once again, our wand, the handle, and the pommel. And they're all been tenoned, except for this, and you'll understand why in a moment. And now we're ready to drill the hole for the dowels that are going to connect the pieces and hold the phoenix feather. Believe it or not, we're finally ready to start doing some real turning. We've got our tip with the hole for the base. We've got our handle with 2 holes, one on each side. One will connect with a short dowel to the tip, one long one for the phoenix feather, and the pommel with the hole ready to go. Now that we've drilled the hole, we can now mount it in there. Now we come to the most difficult part of the whole wand making, and why we originally drilled the holes and mounted in that wine chuck. Working very slowly with both hands, you're going to break away the end, round out the end of the wand. And now that it can be freestanding, you can again slowly and carefully sand it to a nice finish. So now you take your wand end and your handle. Just want to line it up, make sure you get the grain right. So now you take your pommel, but you put your dowel in, you drill the little hole in, and you put your stick in. And now you've got what you need to hold the feather in place. Now that you're ready to attach your feather to the stick, you should always quickly double check to make sure that your post isn't too long. Fits in perfectly. Get your phoenix feather, which are hard to find. Now, you can attach it any way you want. I used to be an archer and did a lot of fletching. That's where you put the feathers on the arrow. So I have a personal technique that I use. I hope you can see. First I wrap it around a few times to get the base in. I strip the feather down. I can go a couple more times. Whole idea is you want it to look nice and neat, and you bend it up. Get the feather nice and clean. Go like that, then around twice, and up a little bit more, then around twice. That was a great way to spend an afternoon. What a fun little project to do. This one is made out of walnut. I've made them also out of cherry. And one of my favorites was the black locust. That was a little harder piece to get my hands on. No matter what you do, the kids are going to love it. Thank you for spending some time with me in my workshop, and be sure to check out GershwinWoodcraft.com for this and many other projects. Have a great afternoon and see you again.